There's a handy tool called grep, which lets you search files for specific patterns of text. This can come in handy when you're searching through log files or if you just want to get one piece of output from a command that returns a lot of information. Of course, there's way too much cool stuff that grep does for me to cover in this movie, but I'll show you a couple examples. If you want to learn more about what grep can do, check out its man page with the command man grep. So first, let's take a look at a log file. I've got a log file here called auth.log. It's a modified version of an authentication log from a computer that was left exposed to the internet for a few days. It's got a whole bunch of failed login attempts from different addresses, and it's over 18,000 lines long, not something you'd want to have to scroll through by hand. Now, of course, I've changed the addresses to example values, so the IPs and servers you see don't exist on the internet. So I could use nano or cat to see the contents, but I want to search for my username. So I'll clear the screen here. So I'll use grep followed by the search term, in this case my username, followed by the name of the file that I want to work with, auth.log. Notice how the search term is highlighted. You may not see this on your system. I like to enable the color output because it makes things stand out a bit more. You can use the color option, that's --color equals auto, on individual lines, or you can type export grep _ options, all caps, equals apostrophe -- color equals auto to enable it all the time. So let's clear the screen and get back to the log. Now I'll look for access attempts that the system thinks is a break-in. Here I'm using -I to make my search case insensitive, and there's all the break-in attempts. I can pipe this output into a command called awk to extract just a list of specific things. In my case, I want a list of IP addresses. What this print statement does is to count the 12th thing that it comes across, line by line, space delimited, and only return that value. So I have print $12, which will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The 12th thing right there. It's the IP address in brackets. Awk is powerful, and there's another program called sed, S-E-D, that you'll see used all over the place for string manipulation within bash scripts. I encourage you to explore the man pages for them both, with man awk and man sed, to become familiar with them. But since they're beyond the scope of bash itself, I won't cover them in depth here. So, okay, that's using grep directly on a file, but what about using it to pull specific information out of the output of a command? Let's take a look at that using the ping command. Now you're probably familiar with ping. It's really handy for checking if you have network connectivity and for getting an idea of the response time for a particular server or device. But sometimes I just want one ping to check something really quickly rather than letting the command run until I stop it with Control-C. Of course, ping has an option for this, the -C flag, to set the count of the pings that it sends. But it still outputs a bunch of other information, and all I'm interested in is the response time. So to get that, I can pipe the output of ping into grep. In this case, I'll look for bytes from. Alright, this is getting closer. I just have one line. So to get where I want, I'll pipe the result of grep into a command called cut, which lets you slice up lines based on particular criteria. For this, I'll use the D flag, which lets me specify a delimiter. In this case, I'll use the equals sign, and I'll follow that up with -F4, because I want field 4. Similar to how awk works, this value will go along the line that I give it and look for the delimiter, which is equals, and then it'll find the 4th thing that's delimited with equals. This here is all one thing. Then we have a delimiter. This is a 2nd thing, delimiter. This is a 3rd thing, delimiter, and then the 4th thing. And there it is. Now, of course, this is a pretty long and unwieldy command to use all the time. And you're probably seeing that it would be really handy to be able to change certain values within that command programmatically. And that's exactly where we're headed. So in a later movie, I'll show you how to wrap it up in a script to make it more convenient and versatile.